Okay, Baruch Hashem, we have the schus to learn Tanya. Whoever wants a copy, we have plenty here. It's Perek Mem Beis, the 42nd chapter of the Holy Sefer Tanya. And if we trace this shir back, it started off with a holy yid from our Kehilah in Shirat David, actually, Eliyahu Shaf. Thanks to Rav Shlomo Katz's advice, we joined together as chavrusos and we started learning Tanya. And we also learned the Kutmaran. So that's the two Shiurim we're now bringing back from the Shtiebel, from the family minion, with Chizzuk from Chassidus, Chizzuk in Chassidus. We're bringing it back to Shirat David, so we can carry on ahead after Mincha Maariv, and when it gets to Chodesh Sivan, we'll go before Mincha Maariv, whoever can brave it earlier, because I don't want to clash with any of the 8 o'clock Shiurim. And we're going to try to do this every day in the back of the Beis Midrash. Have a little chizuk. Whoever wants to listen in online, it will be on Unity Flow podcast or Relationship Flow. Today's the Unity Flow, and the Elokus, we try to gear it up, which will be tomorrow, more towards Shalom Bayis. And Wednesday and Thursday shir is yet to be decided. So Sunday is Tanya, Sefer Tanya. Monday the Elokus. Tuesday is the Kutmaran, and then we'll Bez Hashem decide Wednesday, Thursday. It could be between Pri Sodek, maybe some Bnei Yisrael. But the main thing is we're also going to bring from outside as well, from other Svarim. We have 15-20 minutes. We've got to do as much as we can. And the Tanya has been talking about Das, knowing Hashem. And there's no bigger way to know Hashem than connect yourself to the Tzaddik of the generations. I said generations. Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu is someone who brings together all the neshamas of Am Yisrael. He is Torah Sivalana, Moshe Marasha Kiddush Yaakov. He is the one giving over the Das to Am Yisrael for all the generations, specifically in the Dor Der, his generation, the generation of knowledge. And before Mashiach comes, we're seeing the Orosh of Mashiach. So the neshama of Mashiach, of Moshe Rabbeinu, that's Moshe Rabbeinu's neshama, is coming together, Mashiach, and it's mispashet, kol dor v'dor, in all the generations. Each yid has a nitzah, as a little spark of Moshe Rabbeinu within, and that's how we tap into Das. We have to realize we're all makusha to this concept. So he goes on to say now, and this is just a big chizuk, because the real panimis of the shir is it goes all the way back to the Baal Tanya himself, and Chabad Chassidim, who made this the Torah Shabbat pair of Chassidus, and they broke it up into chitas. Chitas is Rosh Tevis, Chumash, Tehillim, Tanya. So he goes over there, the concept that you break it up throughout the year, you begin your Tet Kislev and you end on your Tet Kislev. So we are not going according to that Seder. We're doing a more Be'in Seder. It's been over a few years. If you want that Seder, you can go to David Jerome or Chabad.org, and you can see there the daily Tanya, Chitas al Aretz, and the Tanya is a very big part of that, Chitas al Aretz, to bring trembling into the land. We need that more, and we dedicate our learning to the success of all our soldiers. And Bez Hashem, Yitzchak ben Shmuel Hakohen, you should have an Eliyahu Nishama. My son is named after my Zayda, who Baruch Hashem was a Schneider, and it should be a schus for Am Yisrael, and he should have the schus of the Torah we're learning, because this is Yotzai, I think tonight and tomorrow. So Chaf Vav Nissen. Chaf Hey is the chitas for today, is what we're learning. So that's Hashgacha Pratis. Exactly what we're learning is the chitas. So I've already learned it today with David Jerome, inside on the email I get from Chabad.org. And we're going to learn it again now, but Ian a little bit more being, we're bringing a little bit of outside sources as well. The Kashla Dasa B'Hashem Yesh B'Chol Nefesh B'Beis Yisrael B'Yinu Kasa B'Nishmas Moshe Rabbeinu Alav Shalom. Yeah, you got it where it is in the text? Yeah, it's you can see it there. It's not so hard to find. Ben Beis, yeah. No, it's in the middle. Yeah. Yeah, here. So here it is. Okay, around here. Okay, so it says here that you're drawing out from Moshe Rabbeinu the das of Hashem. To know Hashem and to feel godliness is present in every one of the souls of Am Yisrael. That's what we just said outside. By virtue of its nurture, Yenuka, this famous name now everyone's talking about, the Yenuka, it means to suckle, like to draw, to nurture. From the soul of our teacher, Moshe Rabbeinu, peace upon him. And I'll tell you something else. Shlomo Katz said, the word is Moshe Kibbutz Torah Messina. He quoted it from Perek this Shabbos, a very good, strong shir, very strong Shabbos. Should be a schus for us as well to have a good Chodesh Iyar. And we had Parsha Shmini. We're going to talk a little bit about that. And we're going to have Tazriim. It's sort of double Parsha. We're getting a lot of reboot Torah right now. So Perek is an example where Moshe Kibbutz Torah Messina. So it's an Indian of giving over Torah. It's not just to teach. There's a better translation here than Moshe, our teacher. He's someone who gave over. Where did he get it from? Messina. Where are we getting this learning we're doing now? From Messina. We're having a gili of Torah that goes all the way back to Messina. Everything we learn is that level of Torah. That's how we have to mechavein. We have to have intention when we're learning. We're tapping into Kabbalah Torah every time, fresh. And Baruch Hashem, we're counting up now to, with the Sfiras Omer, already in the week of Gevurah, we're counting up to that climax, so we get a new chelik of Torah for the new year. And it's constant chadshus in our Torah. Rak ma'achish and azbosha nefesh beguf suika le'gia rabba vatsuma kafula mekufeles. Now this is very powerful. Since one's soul has clothed itself in the body, it needs a great and mighty exertion, doubled and redoubled, in order to fill and be attached to Hashem. So we know that the soul has the ability, by being nurturing from Moshe Rabbeinu, it has the ability to tap into this great godly experience, which is what Moshe Rabbeinu is holding by all the time on a level of das and yira. He's holding all the time with this madriga. So we can just tune in, no? But we have a block. What's the block? It's called the body. Yeah, the nefesh bahamis, as it says in Shirat Tanya, and we have to put a tremendous amount of effort and energy into accessing that chelek of godliness and that spark of das that's from Moshe Rabbeinu. V'achas hi yegias basa, this exertion of the flesh, levatech es aguf lachnia shelo yachshich al or hanefesh, to throw off the bodily shackles, to pound the body, to weaken its corporeality. That means it's like, it's holding us, and gain its submission so they will not obscure the light of the soul, and making it possible one to honest to feel godliness. Like I hardly slept last night. And then you have to push yourself. You go to the gym, you push yourself in learning, push yourself in davening, you go swim, you do all these things, you go to mikveh, you work hard. Like Baruch Hashem, my sons were just busy doing chesed in the house. You're pushing your goof again and again, beating it up, but not in an unhealthy way, in a healthy way. Because every time you work out, what are you doing? You're breaking the muscles down. To build muscle, you have to break your muscle down. That's the whole thing. If you want to build a munah, you have to work at it. If you want to build your connection to your nefesh Elokus, you have to exert yourself. And that's the Indian of this loshen from the Tanya, and it's a very choshev loshen that the Chabad talk and explain, levatesh etz haguf. What does it mean to break the goof? Now, remember, we are a generation that if we start going around breaking ourselves, we're going to break and not fix. We have to do it. One life generally does it for us. We don't have to go around breaking anything. Yeah, there's enough breaking going on, enough breaking. And generally, I asked with Yosef Bornstein here, the Rav who gave the shir this morning about Hallel of a bracha and everything else on Yom Ha'atzmaut and Nel Seder. So I asked him about this concept of batesh, breaking your guf, and he says it's not really something which Chabad, if you go and ask Speaker Mashpia, someone in Chabad, he would tell you it's not recommended. Don't break your guf nowadays. Yeah, that's not the avoda. It's a concept of skafia and it's hafcha to hold back a little bit. Hold back a little bit from the tithers, like we're going to see. I'm going to open up Gedalia Fencer now, and I'll read a little bit from him, and he'll give you a modern day version of what we would need for our generation, because he's mamish like got the finger on the pulse, Gedalia, and he should be blessed. Hopefully, we'll do some more together. Elevate your meals. That's why I mentioned Shmini. Shmini, the whole thing is now Tikkun Kehilah. This coming Shabbos is Tikkun Adibur. Yeah, but Shmini is about kashrus. Eating properly subdues a tendency towards folly, heightening one's intellectual and spiritual faculties. Same thing what we're learning here. But when one overindulges and eats like a glutton, folly will get the upper hand over intellectual spiritual faculties. So the body can start getting too strong and take over our spiritual connection. Don't stuff your face, says Gedalia. Face your stuff. Yeah, I love that quote. Don't stuff your face your stuff. It's one of my favorite quotes from Gedalia, from all its quotes. Eat with presence, emunah, renewal. Food is supposed to be elevated, not suppressed. Eating with presence, emunah, and renewal outlines a threefold approach to transforming eating. And this is all based on Rabbi Nachman, Torah, Yud Zayin, and Likutei Moharan. Presence means bringing full awareness to the act of eating, noticing taste, textures of body signals of hunger and fullness. That means intention. Emunah suggests trusting the divine source of the nourishment, which we're going to learn about later in the Torah. We're going to a concept that all of Torah, is really what forms all the food and the essence. Everything we're eating is really osis of Torah, and Hashem's giving chiyas to everything. And renewal points to the transformative potential for eating each meal as an opportunity to begin again, to receive new energy and vitality. It's like a spiritual act rather than seeing it as some sort of physical indulgence. So that's the more healthier way. Levatesh. I wouldn't go beat yourself. We do actually say this lashon in Skin to Dosa about teaching this concept, but it's about the other side, the forces around us. If you want to take it out on the other side. Don't take it out on yourself. As we mentioned above the name of the Zohar, the gufad lo sadik bei nahora de nishmasa, that a body in which the light soul does not penetrate, mavachinle. It's a quote from the Zohar. You should crush it. Yeah, once again, be careful with this lashon, crushing your body. You have to be careful with this. This is accomplished by means of very deep tshuva. Mamakim karasicha Hashem. I'm calling out from the depths. This is real tshuva. I don't know if you've had that experience. I mean, like all of us on some level probably have. Otherwise, we wouldn't be sitting here. Most neshamas nowadays, we're very tuned into this because we get exposed. And what would be an example? You refrain from Netflix. Yeah, you hold yourself back not to watch. No, it's probably not your Yetzirah. Whatever Yetzirah it is. Yeah, Taiva's Kehilah, Taiva's noshim, too much food, too much looking at things you shouldn't. Yeah, you hold back a little bit. That is the madrega of crushing. But it also, the important part is the thought inside of you that wants to do tshuva, that wants to be close to Hashem and not in this negative energy, this negative state. You want to be in a good place. That deep feeling inside your heart and your soul, that is what really a healthy way of bringing tshuva and connecting the body more to the light of the soul. And that's the exertion of the flesh. It takes energy. That's why we have to realize that energy is worth spending on this. Yeah, people get so sidetracked with putting their energy into being jealous of people and status and all this stuff is not what Yiddishkeit is about. Yiddishkeit is about using your energy for Avodas Hashem, to be an Eved Hashem, to exert yourself in the matters of the heart. That's where the real Avodah is, Avodah Shebalev. That's part of what Tefillah is, to really get your heart into a place where it's serving Hashem. V'shnei hu yigias nefesh lo tekabed alei avoda legia b'machshava v'amik is bonus gugalas Hashem shah gadla b'tzufa. And the second is the exertion of the soul to reveal the powers of the soul, that the service exerting one's for not to be burdensome to it, but to delve into and reflect upon the greatness of Hashem in an interrupted period. Meaning, you have to get to a state where you set aside time to contemplate the greatness of Hashem. And this is, once again, this is something which, if you go to Lubavitch, they were holding in the previous generations. He's going to say here, Ki shor shah zu eina shor b'chol nefesh. For this measure of time of dwelling on the love and fear of Hashem is not the same for every soul. Some people require more time, some less. So you go to Chabad, I think there's still people around like Rav Ginsburg and people like that who would dedicate a lot of time to contemplate the goddess of Hashem. And then they have all these Geluim and revelations. A lot of people, Breslov would do a spodidus, talk to Hashem. Yeah, but each way, his spodidus, thinking of the greatness of Hashem. This brings you to Avos Hashem, Yos Hashem. The Chavetz Chaim brings it down from the Sefer Chinuch as one of the ways to come to love and fear Hashem. The greatness of the Torah, to realize the thinking Torah, the greatness. This is the point, building up a godless, a greatness, Gedalia, great, make great, Hashem's name, the real way of making Hashem's name great, through the using your mind to contemplate the greatness of Hashem. Hashem is Zachav Tiva. This is naturally refined soul. Shemiyad, his bonus, the goddess Hashem, Yegialeh Yireh V'Pachad. Attains a fear and dread of Him. Kosa B'Shulchan Aruch. We're going to finish in 2 minutes, and everyone should remember to say Sfira. Yeah, she's bonen Adam Melech Hagodol Melech Malchei Amlochim Hakodesh Baruch Hu Hashem Malei Kol Haaretz Kavado Omed Elav V'Roa B'Masav Miad Yegia Lech Yira. And this is perfect for us. Why is this perfect? Because this is what we've been learning in Shulchan Aruch in Likutei Halachos, the beginning. What does it say at the beginning of Shulchan Aruch? And we'll be discussing this further tomorrow. That when a man affects upon the great king, the supreme king of kings, the holy one, whose glory fills the whole world, Shvisi Hashem negdi tamid, and stands over him, sees his actions, and immediately be overcome with fear. And that's the explanation of Shvisi Hashem negdi tamid, which is the first halacha in Shulchan Aruch, which we've been learning for months already now in Likutei Halachos. And this concept is going deeper and deeper into this concept of becoming more and more aware of Hashem. And this is halacha, this is a chiyuv on our Yiddishkeit, and the beginning of the really yesod of the Yiddishkeit, to develop a relationship where you feel Hashem's presence in your house, in your home, in your heart, in your exercise, your swimming, in your work, in everything you're doing. You're with Hashem, Im Hashem. The best thing to do, be with Hashem, and bring Hashem's greatness and kingship into your life, and fill up your way of understanding life with that true understanding that Hashem fills the whole world. However, there's going to be souls who are not on this level of Atzilus, all these Madregas, and all the way down to this low world. They're going to be lowly nature, and they're from the lower graduation of the 10 spheres of Asiya. So what are those low-level neshamas, seemingly, who were born through a zivug that wasn't with so much holy kavanas, the marriage wasn't the highest that brought them into the world of etc., 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 and they've got this very low-level, seemingly like clothing of a soul. The Lord is unable to discover godliness by contemplation, except with difficulty and forceful insistence. They're going to have to really, really fight for it. Which in some ways makes them a higher madrega, because they have to push this yagir, such a exertion just to get to any godliness, to just have a moment of yishuv das, to actually have a moment of thought of ruchnias. Pra'im, tumas, chatzos, norim, avanosam, avdilim, mechulu, kamash, chazim, and it could be other ways you could pick up these blockage. For doing sins of your youth, being with people you shouldn't be, places you shouldn't be, that's how you can also pick up blocks, and they interpose you between your connection, between you and Hashem. We'll end off with this. Nevertheless, with difficulty, with forceful effort, when it's fought greatly, exerts itself with vigor and great toil and intense concentration, mercy and contemplation of the greatness of Hashem for a long time. He will certainly come to at least the lower level of Yira, and that we should get, because it says in the Torah, it says, you make the effort, believe you will get there, you will find it. You make the effort in Yiddishkeit, you will get to a connection to Hashem. And we're going to talk about it more, but I think we should stop there, and we'll machazik on this point next time. And I think the main thing we can take away from this is don't stuff your face your stuff, desire Elokus, desire ruchnius and everything in your everyday life. Enjoy Yiddishkeit and realize you have a beautiful neshama that is waiting for you to just focus a minute, give a minute of connection, and it will, Be'ez Hashem, elevate your life and bring you to a level where your eating will get elevated, like Pasha Shmini, your Tazriya Mitzorah, your speech will get elevated, Svaratem Lechem, we're going to say Svir in a minute, and you'll come to a level where you'll be in a godly state, and Be'ez Hashem, you'll be Zok to Mashiach and the full Kabbalah Satorah that we're doing here. Amen, Amen.